Hello everyone, and welcome to China Culture Insider. Today, we embark on a mind-enlightening journey to explore the life and philosophy of one of the most influential Daoist philosophers in Chinese history, Zhuangzi. As a central figure in Daoist philosophy, Zhuangzi's works provide profound insights into the nature of reality, the limits of human knowledge, and the pursuit of spiritual freedom. In this video, we will introduce Zhuangzi's life, his historical background, and the significance of his timeless book, also named Zhuangzi. Zhuangzi, also known as Xiaoyaoyou, was born around 369 BCE during the Warring States period. This era was marked by great turmoil and political instability, but it was also a time of rich intellectual and cultural development. In this dynamic context, Zhuangzi's ideas gradually formed and developed, leaving a profound impact on future generations. Although there are few records of Zhuangzi's life, his works, filled with wisdom and insight, have endured through the ages. Zhuangzi's given name was Zhou, and he lived in the state of Song. He once served as a minor official but soon resigned to lead a life of contemplation and writing. Unlike Confucius, who focused on social harmony and moral conduct, Zhuangzi embraced the Daoist philosophy of naturalness and spontaneity. Founded by Laozi, Daoism emphasizes living in harmony with the Tao, the fundamental principle that is the source of all existence. Zhuangzi expanded on these ideas, emphasizing personal freedom, the relativity of all things, and the pursuit of a carefree and tranquil life. Through vivid allegories and stories, Zhuangzi conveyed his profound insights into life, society, and nature. His works are not only philosophical treasures but also literary masterpieces, filled with imagination and wisdom. Zhuangzi's most famous work, also titled Zhuangzi, is divided into three parts: the inner chapters, the outer chapters, and the miscellaneous chapters, totaling 33 chapters. The inner chapters, considered the core of Zhuangzi's philosophy, include stories and essays that explore themes such as individual spiritual freedom, the equality of all things, and living in accordance with nature. For instance, the Free and Easy Wandering in the inner chapters elaborates on Zhuangzi's ideas of freedom and transcendence, using the story of Kuan and Peng to illustrate the boundless potential of life and the transcendent realm of the spirit. The outer chapters, attributed to Zhuangzi's disciples and followers, continue these explorations with additional stories and reflections on Daoist thought. For example, the Autumn Floods chapter in the outer chapters discusses the relativity and limitations of knowledge through the dialogue between the river god and the sea god, revealing Daoist wisdom and humor. The outer chapters not only extend Zhuangzi's ideas but also incorporate the understandings and innovations of his disciples, making the work more colorful and diverse. The miscellaneous chapters contain a mix of writings from various sources, providing further insights into Zhuangzi's ideas and the broader Daoist tradition. For example, the Gengsang Chu chapter in the miscellaneous chapters showcases Zhuangzi's deep reflections on life through observations of natural phenomena and human behavior. The miscellaneous chapters' content is rich and varied, offering further elucidation of Daoist philosophy and additional information about Zhuangzi's life and thoughts, making the book more comprehensive and profound. Zhuangzi's work is essential for understanding Daoism and Chinese philosophy. His writings challenge us to look beyond conventional wisdom and embrace a more fluid and dynamic view of the world. Through allegories and parables, Zhuangzi teaches us the value of inner peace, the limitations of human knowledge, and the beauty of living in harmony with the Tao. Zhuangzi's wisdom has not only influenced ancient Chinese thinkers and writers but also resonates in modern society, inspiring countless readers and scholars. In the upcoming series of videos, we will delve into the classic episodes of Zhuangzi, uncovering the wisdom and philosophy contained within. Whether you are encountering this work for the first time or are already familiar with its stories, we hope our explanations will bring you new perspectives and insights. By analyzing and interpreting Zhuangzi's ideas, we will explore how to apply this ancient wisdom in modern life, finding inner peace and freedom. Next, we will explore the first chapter of the inner chapters, Free and Easy Wandering. Xiaoyaoyou. The Free and Easy Wandering serves as the opening chapter of Zhuangzi, painting with a uniquely imaginative and romantic brush a realm of transcendence beyond the material world, unencumbered and at one with the Tao. Its grandeur and profound implications make it a rare and majestic piece of writing that has stood the test of time. Now, let us delve into Free and Easy Wandering to pursue the true freedom Zhuangzi envisioned. 北冥有鱼，其名为鲲。鲲之大，不知其几千里也，化而为鸟。其名为鹏，鹏之背，不知其几千里也，怒而飞，其翼若垂天之云。是鸟也，海运则将徙于南冥。In the northern darkness, there is a fish named Kuan, so vast that its size in thousands of miles is unknown. It transforms into a bird named Peng, whose back is also of an immeasurable expanse. When it takes flight in anger, its wings are like clouds hanging from the sky. This bird, when it migrates, will move to the southern darkness, which is known as the celestial pond. Zhuangzi begins by presenting us with a grand and fantastic scene. In the North Sea, a kuan fish, thousands of miles in size, leaps from the water and transforms into a peng bird, then spreads its wings that block out the sun and flies with vigor towards the South Sea. The kuan was originally a very small fish fry, yet in Zhuangzi's words, it became a colossal creature, and it could also transform into a peng bird. The sea is vast for the fish to leap, the sky is high for the birds to fly. Fish and birds represent a realm of freedom. Zhuangzi's portrayal of the small fry as a large fish is likely a metaphor for the freedom of the spirit, the great realm without obstruction. Moreover, the transformation from small to large, from fish to bird, also contains the meaning that all things are in constant motion and change, interconvertible. The kuan and peng inhabit the northern darkness, the southern darkness, and the celestial pond. Darkness here refers to the profound and obscure. Celestial pond is a natural great pond. The kuan roams in the water, the peng soars in the wind. Water and air have been regarded since ancient times as the origin of all things, obscure yet natural, the origin of all things. Is this not the Tao spoken of by Laozi? Therefore, the kuan and peng should symbolize those who aspire to lofty ideals and seek the great Tao. Zhuangzi then depicts the kuan leaping from the water, splashing water for 3,000 miles, then soaring 90,000 miles high, riding the great winds of June. Looking down from on high, the mist, dust, and various creatures all drift with the wind. The world is vast and boundless. The peng cannot help but exclaim, "Is this the true appearance of heaven and earth?" Zhuangzi uses this to illustrate that only from the perspective of the great Tao can one see the true face of the entire world. In other words, the true appearance of the world is the Tao. And to comprehend the Tao, one must have profound accumulation. Zhuangzi gives an example. If the water is not deep enough, it does not have the strength to carry a large ship. The water in a small depression can float a blade of grass but cannot support a cup. The sea water of the northern darkness is deep and vast enough to nurture the huge kuan. With the help of the June winds, the peng bird can fly 90,000 miles high. To go far, one must prepare more. If you just go for a walk in the nearby countryside, you only need to bring food for 3 meals, and you will still be full when you return that day. If you go 100 miles away, you need to prepare food for the night. If you go 1,000 miles away, you need to prepare food for 3 months. People with narrow horizons cannot understand the spiritual realm of those who pursue the great Tao. The behavior of the kuan and peng is ridiculed by some small insects and birds. The cicada and the little dove say, "Even if we fly as much as we can only fly to the trees. Sometimes, if we can't fly up, we just fall to the ground. Why bother to fly 90,000 miles high to the South Sea?" The sparrow in the small pond also laughs and says, "Where does it want to fly? I leap up, but after a few tens of feet, I fall down. Flying around in the thorns is my limit. Where does this kuan and peng want to fly to?" Zhuangzi says this is the difference between great wisdom and small wisdom. Just like a bug that lives and dies in a day cannot understand a month's time, a cicada that lives from summer to autumn cannot understand a year's time. However, there is a kind of spiritual turtle that takes 500 years as spring and 500 years as autumn. In ancient times, there was a great tree called the chen, which took 8,000 years as spring and 8,000 years as autumn. People with narrow minds and closed hearts, who have achieved some minor successes in the secular world of fame and fortune, often think they are great and complacent, taking a corner of the world as the whole world, thinking they are free and easy, and mocking those who are truly free and easy. So, what exactly is true freedom and ease? Those who rely on their own wisdom to watch over one side, those who rely on their own actions to protect their hometown, those whose virtues are appreciated by the monarch and trusted by the whole country, are they truly free and easy? No, because their freedom and ease depend on the external world, and their hearts are entangled by secular fame and profit. There is a man named Zhuangzi who can remain unmoved by external criticism and praise, can clearly recognize the distinction between the self and external things, distinguish the boundaries of honor and disgrace, and does not eagerly pursue secular reputation. Is this considered true freedom and ease? No, because there is still a distinction between the self and external things in his heart. Although his heart is not affected by the external world, his freedom and ease are only limited to his own inner world. Then, Lizi cultivated a skill of traveling by wind, can achieve the interconnection of senses, the unity of body and mind, as light and elegant as a leaf, has forgotten whether it is the wind that carries me or I that carry the wind, that is to say, he has dissolved the distinction between people and the outside world, and has completely transcended the concept of right and wrong and profit and loss. He can always be considered as truly free and easy, right? Still not. Why? Zhuangzi said that his skill is to seek for 5 days and then return, and he must return after 15 days, which is limited and cannot be infinite. Zhuangzi pointed out that the so-called true freedom and ease is the tirelessness of the spiritual world, that is, the heart has no entanglement, no hindrance, no dependence, and to achieve tirelessness, one must conform to the original appearance of all things in heaven and earth, grasp the natural laws of change in heaven and earth, and roam in the infinite realm. To further illustrate, Zhuangzi proposed that a true free and easy person needs to have 3 qualities: the sage is nameless, the divine man is meritless, and the wise man is selfless. The so-called nameless, meritless, and selfless are to have a name and forget the name, to have merit and forget the merit, to have a self and forget the self. In other words, it is to transcend the concept of fame and fortune, eliminate the prejudices of the self, and these 3 qualities correspond to the Tao Te Ching, where it is said that the great Tao gives life without possessing, acts without relying, and grows without governing. That is to say, the great Tao nurtures all things completely naturally, it does not deliberately occupy or dominate all things, nor does it look down on itself, nor does it want to gain anything from all things. In order to illustrate the 3 qualities of being nameless, meritless, and selfless, Zhuangzi told us several small stories. Yao gave the world to Suyu, saying, "You are like the sun and the moon that have come out, and I am still extinguishing the candle. You are like the rain that has come, and I am still watering the seedlings. If you are in place, the world can be stable, and I still occupy this position, it is too ashamed. How can I give the world to you?" Suyu said, "You have already governed the world well, and I still come to replace you. Is it for the sake of empty fame? The name is just a guest body attached to the reality. Do I want to pursue a guest body with a famous but empty reality? The little bird builds a nest, only one is needed. The field mouse drinks water, only enough to fill the stomach. What do I do with the world? Although the cook does not cook, the person who presides over the sacrifice should not overstep and replace him. Having the reality and forgetting the name, the reality comes and the name is not considered to have a name. This is the true meaning of the sage's namelessness in Zhuangzi." Then, Zhuangzi described the image of a divine man again, saying that on the distant solitary leaf mountain, there is such a divine man. His skin is like ice and snow, his appearance is like a young girl, he does not eat grains, he breathes the wind and guides the road, he rides the clouds, and he meets the flying dragon and roams outside the 4 seas. As long as his spirit gathers all things, he will no longer suffer from diseases and disasters. The grains are abundant, the customs are simple, and there is a scene of abundance of food and clothing everywhere, and nothing can harm him, whether it is man-made disaster or natural disaster. That is, the great flood is not drowned, the great drought makes the metal and stone flow, the mountain is burnt but not hot. Such a divine man who does not eat grains has completely got rid of the limitations of ordinary people's lives, not burdened by the material of the world. He has established a magical merit for people, allowing people to live and work in peace and contentment, but he has no utilitarian entanglement in his heart, that is, he has merit but does not dwell on merit. It is precisely because there is no heart of fame and fortune, so he is not harmed by anything. Zhuangzi said, "It is his minister Jia, Bai Kong, and Yao and Shun are all insignificant. If a person builds a great achievement for the sake of building a great achievement, even if he has the great achievements of Yao and Shun, it is just a divine man's Jia, Bai Kong, and it is useless." Zhuangzi gave an example. A man from the Song state wears a hat, thinking that everyone in the world wears a hat, so he sells the hat to the Yu state, but no one buys it, because the people of the Yu state are bald and tattooed, and they don't need a hat at all. This is exactly the same as the divine man who does not need fame and fortune. It was mentioned earlier that when Yao gave the world to Suyu, he did not understand the truth of the sage's namelessness and the divine man's meritlessness, so he was like a man from the Song state selling a hat to the people of Yu, giving the world to Suyu who does not seek fame for the people. But Zhuangzi later mentioned that after Yao went to the solitary leaf mountain and saw the divine man, he realized the truth of being nameless and meritless, so he suddenly lost his words about the world, forgetting his position in the world. After talking about the sage's namelessness and the divine man's meritlessness, Zhuangzi finally expounds the truth of the wise man's selflessness. Zhuangzi's friend Huishi once served as the prime minister of King Hui of Liang. One day, he said to Zhuangzi, "The king of Wei gave me a gourd seed, and after careful cultivation, I finally harvested a huge gourd. But it is not strong enough to hold water, and it is too big to make a ladle, so I had to smash it." It is obvious that this remark by Huishi is a satire on Zhuangzi's doctrine, which is big but useless. In response, Zhuangzi said that it is not the fault of the gourd for being too big, the key lies in Huishi's inability to use the big well, not good at using the big. Then Zhuangzi told a story. A man from the Song state mastered a kind of medicine to prevent chilblains. Even if he washed silk in the water in winter, his hands would not crack. A foreigner heard about it and bought the prescription for 100 jin, and then persuaded the king of Wu to use this medicine in the water battle with the people of Yu in winter. As a result, the Wu army won a great victory, and this person was also rewarded with land. Then Zhuangzi said to Huishi, "Why don't you make a big gourd into a waste boat, let it float on the rivers and lakes, instead of worrying that it is too big and has no place to accommodate? It can be seen that your heart is still not open. Anything, as long as it is used just right, belongs to the will to use and the good use." However, what Zhuangzi ultimately wants to express is not the problem of how to use, but to extend the problem of having and not having through this. All things in this world each have their own nature, and the reason why people say useful or useless is because there is a self in the heart. As long as there is a self in the heart, people will inevitably pursue usefulness, and tragedies like the smashing of the gourd are inevitable. In order to further illustrate, Zhuangzi listed another fable. Huishi said to Zhuangzi, "I have a big tree called Chu, it is bloated and knotted, the branches and vines are not in accordance with the rules, the craftsmen do not even look at it when they pass by, just like your words, big and useless, everyone abandons it." Zhuangzi said, "The wild cat crouches low, waiting for the prey, and jumps up and down chasing the prey, and will eventually die in the trap. Look at the yaks, they are as big as the clouds in the sky, free and at ease, and will not be harmed by chasing mice. You now have such a big tree, and you are still worried about its uselessness. Why not plant it in the land of nothing, the vast wilderness, and then walk freely by the tree, or sleep comfortably under the tree? In this way, the big tree will not be cut down by an axe, and nothing will harm it, it has no use, how can it bring trouble and disaster?" Zhuangzi believes that the big tree is bloated and knotted, the branches and vines are curly, this is its nature. The secular people think it is useless, completely because there is a self in the heart. In fact, doing nothing but doing everything, useless is the greatest use. Because it is useless, this big tree can avoid being cut down by an axe, grow at ease, and be free and at ease. As long as it stands there, it can provide a place for the passers-by to shelter from the sun and rain for generations. The original appearance of all things is enough to make the world run harmoniously. Why force a distinction between usefulness and uselessness because of one's own selfishness, and deliberately pursue or destroy them? In summary, the use of the useless is the core connotation of making people selfless. And the land of nothing and the vast wilderness in Zhuangzi's mouth is a pure land without war, violence, fame and fortune, right and wrong, and the distinction between the noble and the humble, as well as the realm of the heart that is nameless, meritless, and selfless, and roams freely with the spirit of heaven and earth. Thank you for joining us on our journey to explore Zhuangzi. In the next episode, we will delve into the concept and philosophy of Qiwulan in the inner chapters. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to China Culture Insider, 中国文化洞察者, and click the bell icon to get notified of our latest videos. See you next time.